Lucy, 喝茶喽，喝茶，来来来，喝茶。Lucy's not listening. I guess she's hibernating on her couch in there. It's pretty cold and rainy. And anyways, I'm back. It's been a while. Things have been it's been quite a year. Quite a lot has happened. I'll give you a little rundown here. Let's get this tea started. Let's let you know what we're drinking. Actually, this is a new one and just pressed. I'm just cracking this open, and new ripe tea from this year. It was just released about just under a month ago. This is a Pasha Mountain, which is in Monghai, near Galanghe, Mongsong, that area. And this is a village called Xinyoutang in Pasha. And it's the first ripe Pasha that I think I've ever made, and one of the first ripe Pashas that I've ever had. And it's really interesting. I'll flash some pictures on the screen of it, of the tea itself. But Pasha's always got really big, prominent white tips or buds, and really kind of like large, not super long. And this ripe looks exactly, it just looks like a ripe version of a Pasha Sheng raw Pu-erh. So it's really interesting in that regards, that it looks like Pasha even as a ripe tea, which is, But anyways, I got 6 grams here in my little silver teapot. This is about 85 milliliters. 6 grams is maybe a little bit heavy, but that's okay. It's my first tea of the day, so I really need it. But yeah, anyways, a lot has been going on. I guess the big news is the birth of our son, Ethan, or Yichen in Chinese. So actually we came up with the Chinese name first, Yichen, and then we thought, well, what would be a good English name that kind of has a similar sound? So we said Yichen, Ethan. So yeah, he's 4 months old now, and he is a really fun kid. He's just really, really happy, and he smiles all the time. And he's a baby, so he cries, and when he's hungry, or when we have to set him down while we're doing something, he's trying to get our attention. But it's been a really incredible time just to have a new baby, and Lucy's adjusting, and we're doing all right. It's been hard, so that's one of the reasons we haven't made the videos. It's just hard in the sense of finding the time and prioritizing things. We still obviously working really hard, running the business, drinking a lot of tea, doing all that. So the videos have kind of fallen by the wayside as being kind of, I guess, the less pertinent of all, the less important of all the things that we have to do in our day-to-day life and in the business and everything. So, but I think also for me, like feeling like I'm in the right space where I'm willing to do a video, and that's definitely been tricky to find that just with the busyness, because just busy, and so, yeah, might need some water in here if I'm gonna make tea. So in addition to that, so it's been Shaz doing really well. She's recovered well, and I think the biggest issue is just sleep for both of us, and particularly for her because she's doing the feeding. But yeah, we're well, and we also in April we finished everything. Well, we finished previous to April. We had finished building out our warehouse, very small warehouse. here in Texas, and we moved, we imported a lot of teas from China directly, and then we also moved our teas from Oregon to Texas, and so that was a huge project, and that's been completed. So so Yunnan Sourcing US is entirely Texas based now, and it's running really smoothly, and it's just right outside the door, so I can walk over there if I need to do something. And yeah, that's been really good too. So that's another thing that's been going on. But those are the two main things. The two main things that have, that have consumed an entire, year of our lives. Shaz the pregnancy and the birth and the baby and moving an entire warehouse and business from one state to another and having a warehouse built here during all the, started in 2021 and then finished in early 2022. That was definitely a challenge to do that, just with the way things are logistically, supply chain, labor, all that, with COVID and the pandemic and the kind of the after effects of all that and on everything. So that was a lot, but here we are, and Texas is a great place to store tea. I think Think Oolong, but not Oolong. We'll get into that in a second, but it's got that, and it's bitter. So it does have quite a bit in common with Oolong tea, but it also has a really good sweetness to it. But yeah, things are good. We're happy and healthy, and I hope everybody out there is as well. I know this is 2022 has been kind of a rough deal, I think, for a lot of people, and it definitely hasn't been optimal. We've definitely seen a little bit of a decrease in business, I think, obviously, because just the economy in general is a little bit dicey, as it were. But yeah, we're charging ahead. We're still making tea. We're still investing in tea. And that's just what we do. We find teas and we create teas in a sense. I mean, we don't grow teas. Like, I didn't grow this tea, but I know the person that does, and I'm really excited because I was able to meet this person through a friend in Mong Song who sources all of our Mong Song teas, like Mong Song white tea and Mong Song. We have a lot of ripes that are from Mong Song, and so I'm really excited to be able to offer Pasha tea. So let's go in here. I'm not very good at brewing tea. I'm not very good at talking and brewing tea. Excuse me. It's got, like, for a ripe, it has almost like an umami type mouthfeel to it. Excuse me. I drank a big thing of kefir this morning just to kind of give my stomach, anchor my stomach, as it were. So here we go. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, dark, like you would see in a oolong tea. And so the tea trees, between 40 and 100 years old. So not, definitely not like super young plantation tea. And I'm actually looking forward to hopefully getting samples of their Pu-erh as well, made from the same trees, which I think should be really, really nice. But I think I'm gonna have to wait until winter for that. I wasn't fast enough on the draw to get some autumn material, so. Just thick, oily, sweet, bitter. There is a little bit of, I don't want to say camphor, but there's like a kind of like a dense hardwood character a little bit to the tea as well, and the taste, I don't know how to describe it, but it's super thick. And there's definitely a chocolatey, like cacao powder, cacao powder dregs in your smoothie type aftertaste, which I like. Let's get some more water in here. I'm trying to think what else. Any other news? I mean, there's a lot of news. There's a lot, but those are the two big things. We're having a sale. Just started. Let's see, today's Monday. It just started at midnight, so and that is a 13% off sale, which is kind of going to be one of our bigger sales. It's site-wide, so that means everything except like clay stuff and silver, which is not discounted because we can't keep it in stock even when it's full price. So but pretty big sale for us. I think last year the site-wide sales that we had around this time of year were 10%. So this year we're going 13%. It's a bit more. Don't forget you get loyalty points as well. But like the credit card processors and PayPal have upped their fees, and we are losing scads of money on shipping, believe it or not, even though shipping is quite pricey. This year has just been a total bloodbath in terms of shipping prices. I feel like the quality of our shipping is excellent because, especially to the US, we're using DHL. Even YS Express is based on DHL. So YS Express, again, for kind of like 2.5-3 kilos or less, is a good option, a bit cheaper. We get a bunch of customer orders on the yunnansourcing.com website, and then we ship them all together here, and then we put them in boxes and ship them out, and that can work out to be quite a bit cheaper, especially for smaller packages. Usually takes about 2 weeks. Sometimes it can take less, sometimes it can take a little bit more. DHL directly is also an option for lesser amounts as well. If you get above 2.5-3, it's going to be your only option to the US. But yeah, so that's been good. Things have been really consistently fast, although shipping has gotten quite expensive. Anyways, back to the sale. Definitely, if you want to get something this year and you want to get a good deal and you want to have a good, you don't want to have to pick and choose, I only ripe or only raw Pu-erh is on sale or only this is on sale. This is basically everything. So get on it if you want to get a good discount. This is a good time. We tried to do kind of like a balance. We didn't want to have Black Friday madness, but we wanted to give people sales. So we've been kind of like trying to have a really series of attractive sales one after another, so that people can take advantage when it works for them. And but then we're not just like slammed with this like ridiculous. We sent a newsletter about it where I explained all of that. Just not wanting to have like a bazillion orders all at once and then not being able to fulfill them because we can't scale. I can't go and hire and train people to work for 2 weeks. Just doesn't work. So the burden of all of the if we get a huge amount of orders at once, we're going to get more orders than we normally do this time of year, and that's fine. But there have been some years where it's taken us like 2 weeks to fulfill the orders that we got in 2-3 days, and then it gets kind of ugly, and people are waiting. They're like, "Oh, why isn't my order shipped? Why isn't my order shipped?" And it's like, well, because we're a small business. We got like 10 times as many orders as normal. So yeah, anyways, we've been trying to spread it out, and I appreciate that people have been taking advantage of like the various deals and still purchasing. But the discounts are comparable to what we offered in previous years. And in fact, this year, as I mentioned, it's 13%, which is actually better than last year's site-wide sale. So wet pile taste, there is some. I'm not super sensitive to wet pile taste, I think, because I drink so many young ripe teas, but there is a wet pile taste. I don't find it overpowering. I feel like the skill of the wet piling done on this tea, and it is really really good. It was done in Monghai by the same person that does. In fact, that's kind of how we got the connection with this person and from the Mongsong village teas that we offer. So they're using the same tea factory to do the wet piling. So what I've been seeing more and more actually is that growers, farmers, whatever you want to call them, tea growers, or even village kind of collective, small local, have been actually going to the tea factories and utilizing their space and utilizing their skills, but they actually aren't just selling the tea to the tea factory. They actually are using the tea factory and using the wet piling master, as it were. And then sometimes they'll store some of the teas at the tea factory, but they basically can take all of that back out. Now, not to say that some tea factories aren't buying the Mao Cha and then wet piling it themselves. They are. But in the case of this one, the case of Mongsong, is like they're actually having the wet piling done, and then after the tea is all done, they're taking it back out, just because they want to have, one is they don't have tons and tons and tons of tea. These are relatively small wet pile batches, as it were. So yeah. Ooh. I would say this one, the real hallmark of this is just the mouthfeel and the liugan, the feeling in the mouth that stays there. It's very, very long lasting. Let's see, I'm talking a lot, so I think I'm going to reboil. Well, it's too bad Lucy wouldn't come and hang out with us. But she is zonked out. In the winter, she definitely kind of hibernates. It's not been super cold here, but it was quite warm, and then it just really got, like highs in the 40s and lows in the 30s. When, 2-3 weeks ago, it was in the 80s. 2 weeks ago, it was in the 80s. So it's a bit of a shock. I think for Lucy too, as she gets older, she's I think she's a bit less tolerant of the cold, for sure. I think I've been trying to give her a little more food and a little more fatty food too, because she's quite skinny. And I would imagine that not wearing clothes although she wears pajamas, she has these doggy pajamas that it's basically like a fleece that you slip over. It's pretty cute though. I think she sleeps better with it, because I let the temperature get pretty low at night, because I actually sleep much better if it's kind of not too warm. This tea is really, really good. I know that's maybe not a good enough reason to buy it because we have a lot of good teas. But this is a more premium tea, right? So I think right now we're selling this for $50 for 250 grams. So it's definitely one of the more premium ones. And speaking of premium, and speaking of Bulong, this is just hanging out over here. We got Tiger Clan going on here, which is a Bulong tea. Oh wait, no. No, sorry. This is a blend. This does have Bulong in it, but it's not entirely Bulong. Sorry. But this is another really good premium tea, and an awesome wrapper as well. And this is an awesome design. This is by Courtney Moore. I think this turned out really, really well. We tried to get the right balance, the contrast with the printing so that it looked like the tiger is kind of in the dark and the lanterns are lighting the tiger. Really cool design. All right. I have no idea how long this has been in here, but it's coming out. I love this chai because it's got such a tiny little opening here. I can even put the smallest teapot in here. I can just be lazy and just let it sit in there. All right. Oh, but anyways, I did want to also mention too, since I put so much energy into moving the U.S. Yunnan sourcing U.S. here and having it more directly kind of under my management control, whatever you want to call it, it's running really smoothly. I don't know if you ordered in the past when it was in Oregon, but we were very, very slow. It was kind of a patchwork of part-time employees there that helped, and they did fine, but I think the fulfillment times were sometimes quite slow. So if you order from Yunnan Sourcing US now, the fulfillment will be quite fast. However, this week in November and into early December, fulfillment might take a day, like a couple of days, a couple of business days. Normally we're able to fulfill the orders like really, really fast, like usually same day. But this is the busy time. I was talking about that. However, we will be building more and more stocks up here and a better selection as well at Yunnan Sourcing US. And if you're in the United States, you get free shipping. $100 or more free shipping. So that's great. And you get stuff, anywhere from 1 to usually 4 business days. It's kind of like maybe 5. I think UPS ground to some destinations can be a little bit slow, but being based in Texas now is kind of more central, so shipping is quite fast and it's free, so that's good. Sorry, I got a plug. This is a tea that if you like chocolatey bitterness, you're going to love this. If you want a tea to age, this is a good option as well. If the bitterness is too much for you at this stage, it's not Lama bitter, but it's more likely darker, like Year of the Ox, which is a Bulong one. Bulong Year of the Ox, just to be clear. These are teas that I think are going to age wonderfully. Are they drinkable now? Yes, for me they are, because I don't mind bitterness. I like it. I like how it makes my mouth feel. And it makes, a lot of the bitter teas tend to have the really stronger chachi as well. But they are teas that I think are going to age really, really well, and that bitterness is gonna become more sweet and more complex. It's gonna transform. So this is definitely a good tea for aging. I'm dreading going to the dentist because every time I go, because I get stains. I get stains here from drinking. I drink a lot of tea, and a lot of it's ripe tea, so I get all these stains. And the dentist that I go to is really, really good, but I get, maybe I'm just overly self-conscious, but I feel like every time he sees the stains, he'll make a comment. He's like, what are these stains from? And he's just like kind of, and every time I tell him, and he's like, oh, okay. But I'm a little, I'm a little bit self-conscious, but it's just totally unavoidable. I don't know if, brushing my teeth. I brush my teeth at least twice a day. Scout's honor. But I just have stains. They just get stained. I just gotta go. Probably like 90% of everybody, like everybody else who's, it's like you need to go to the dentist, but it's like the last thing you want to do too. You're like, oh, I gotta go to the dentist. So, however, stain is not the worst. In general, my teeth don't hurt, so I'm pretty happy about that. I'm trying to think what else has been going on. A lot of great teas from 2022. We're pretty much all done, although we are going to make the Impression series raw, but this year we're going to have two. We're going to have a gold label and a silver label, and they're going to be different blends, and the gold is going to be a bit more high end. The silver is going to be down maybe one grade and a little bit in price. I don't want to say down one grade because they're just different teas. The silver will be a bit cheaper, but I am betting that some people are going to prefer the silver to the gold, and some people are going to prefer the gold to the silver. But I think they're both quite powerful teas. We're not using any. There was what year was it that we used? Was it 2020 where we used some part of the blend was semi-aged Mao-cha, and that's nice. But this year it's all 2022 Mao-cha, spring and autumn blend, and it's potent. It's going to be very potent. So hopefully that'll be out within a month before the end of the year. But yeah, look forward to that. I'm trying to think what else. There are a few more teas. There's a few teas going to come out. But we just got a Li Ming, a 2008 Li Ming tea, Guangdong stored, and we bought several cases of that, and that's going to be listed soon. If you like Li Ming, if you like Guangdong storage, that's going to be, it's really good tea, and it's really going to be affordable as well for like a 14-year aged tea. So that'll be coming out soon. Still going strong. It's definitely not quite as bitter as it was. Of course, I haven't really been doing a great job brewing this because I'm just blah, 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 blah. Blab, 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 as it were. That's about it. I think I'm going to let y'all go. It's been kind of a long, rambling video, but I just decided what the heck I'm going to do it. Give some updates, give some good news to our tiger baby, about our tiger baby here, Ethan. And thank you to everybody as well for, just supporting us, not just this year, but through all the years. and for all the people who send us nice messages, good reviews, all that stuff. I see all that, and I appreciate it. And I also appreciate the people who have reached out, because there were people saying, I haven't seen you, haven't done any videos, like, are you okay? Like, and you know, just like emails of people who are kind of like concerned, like, you know, just checking in, and I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. And yeah, we'll see on the next video. We'll see if we can get Shay out in the next video. Ethan doesn't take very long naps. He's at 4 months. I don't know. I'm sure parents know about the 4-month sleep regression, as it were, where they wake up every hour and a half, and then during the day, like, he takes these like 10-minute cat naps. You know, it takes him 20 minutes to fall asleep, and then he sleeps for 10 minutes. So, but we're gonna hopefully Shao's will be in the next video, and we'll see y'all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.